Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Lens with Roger Rojas. And today's guest is someone who I've been so thankful to partner with for the past 3.5 months. We're going on, third month, maybe even fourth. So much has been done that I've lost track. He's someone that I believe is great for all the listeners and watchers, a true entrepreneur who's investing into his dream and starting it from ground zero and doing so much more. I'm excited to introduce Justin, CEO of Lyfeblends.
Thank you. Glad to be here, man.
Thank
awesome.
you so much.
Love San Diego.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, you're like, hey man, where are you guys? So I created this mini set in my living room. So he is actually my first ever in-person guest, and he flew all the way from Seattle, Washington to San Diego, California. I believe he really just showed up because he wanted the nice weather. I know it's rainy and pretty gloomy down there right now.
It felt great.
But, yeah.
It feels great down here.
He's down in SoCal, and I'm so excited to have you. So I want to get right into it, and I want people to get to know Justin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who is Justin?
Yeah, man. So, since a young age, I've really been into fitness. It was one of my things. I had my parents buying me like Flex magazines and stuff, right? I thought muscles were so awesome. But then when I got into sports at 14 years old, they made us start lifting weights for football. Now, I loved muscle when I was young. I thought it was cool, but I didn't know how you got it or what it was, right? And so they made us lift weights for football, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't really like this actually. I hated lifting weights. I was sore, like, what is this? And I was weak, and you know what I mean? And the more I got into it, I was like, man, I really feel good. I love this, right? And then, back it up a little more, I grew up a fat kid, okay? Mm-hmm. So I think that's why I was so interested in muscle and physiques. I was a chubby kid that got made fun of, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of bodybuilders could attest to this. A lot of us have this complex from when we were young of, being the kid that got made fun of when they were young and chubby and not popular and girls didn't want to talk to you and all that. I dealt with that, man, you know what I mean? So anyways, as I aged and started lifting weights and started feeling better, I wanted to educate myself more, right? So how can I put on more muscle? Not just from lifting weights, but then I need the nutrition to support it, right? And so as I went through high school, I was playing sports. When I was 16 years old, unfortunately, my best friend died. And that put me in a bad place, again, as a young person. And so I left football at that time. So getting away from football and everything that was associated with my best friend, I still wanted to lift weights. It was still my escape, right? Mm-hmm. And so I joined a local gym, a Gold's Gym out there. I grew up in Central Washington. And I joined a gym, and I met some bodybuilders that were actually competitive bodybuilders, and I started working out with them, and they took me under their wing, and I was like, this is really cool, right? So fast forward to 21 years old, I did my first competition. And so going through that whole competitive phase of really learning how to strip off body fat and eating, every 2 hours and drinking my gallon of water and all this stuff, it all adds up. That consistency adds up to a result, right? So I went through that process. It was very hard. And, through the years, I did more competitions. But along the way, understanding why we need the nutrition, the supplementation, and the training to be all on point if we want our body to do a certain thing, right? So now come to today, why I started this wellness brand. For me, I'm now 38 years old. I have a 12-year-old daughter, and I want to live a long time. I want to be there for her, right? And that became so important to me. Back when I was in my mid-20s and really into bodybuilding, it was just take all the supplements out there, all the powders, all the proteins, all the pills, get huge, right? And over time, that can wreak havoc on your body too. I probably wasn't as healthy as I could have been, right? So as I've aged and gotten older and really into this wellness stuff now, it's now become more of a challenge of how healthy can I be? Not how big can I be? That's done. I love lifting weights. I love muscle still, right? But how healthy can I be? That's the game. So getting all my water intake in, getting my nutrition and my macros and my micros in, and that's again what I get from Lyfeblends is those micronutrients a lot of us miss. A lot of people don't understand that our overall health starts in the gut. Most people have no idea that the immune system, serotonin levels, how we overall feel starts in the gut. So again, we have gut health products, right? And anyway, so at 38 years old, the big thing for me, the ultimate end game, the life challenge is how long can I live? How healthy can I be? I get blood work done every 6 months, right? I want to know where my cholesterol is, my blood pressure, just everything across the board. How healthy am I? My liver enzymes, my kidneys, everything. And that's just so important to me now. I just have a bigger vision for my life, and I feel that the general public and population, they don't understand this side. So sports nutrition, I love sports nutrition. I buy my pre-workouts and proteins, and I'm not putting it down by any means. But sports nutrition is sexy and cool and popular, right? No one knows about the wellness side though. Like, I want the wellness products to support sports nutrition and what people are doing in the sports nutrition game, right? So we can work synergistically together. So I want to open up this world of wellness and why it's important, and let's make it sexy. Let's make it cool to be healthy, right?
Right.
So yeah, kind of in short, that's where I'm at with this.
I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the biggest takeaway from that I just heard to Justin, I think I apply it to my life. I try to think about it all the time. One of my good friends who's a firefighter, who's one of my first clients, he talks about all the time going to people's homes and seeing an older person and they're there because they can't get off their chair.
Yeah.
And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, the simple thought of having that movement of getting up and getting down, people take for granted. Absolutely. But also it's the idea of what I think you're talking about and what the brand is all about, which is why I like working together. Wellness, longevity. What can I do today? What can I take? What can I consume that's going to help me 10, 20, 30 years down the road?
Absolutely,
and
man.
how you reference your daughter.
Yeah.
I'm single, not married, no kids, but I aspire to have a family.
Yeah.
So I know that if I do the right things today, it'll help line it up for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important. Like for me, I think that's huge.
It is.
Because sometimes we get so caught up in today. And we're like, hey, let's talk about 5, 10 years from now, and we don't need to know what's going to happen, but we should have the things in play today that'll help it play out.
Absolutely.
What you went through, you said 14 years old, you picked up magazines or whoever gave you those fitness magazines.
Yeah.
Who did you follow when you first started? Was there a person or individual? You're like, man, I want to look like that guy. Let me guess. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So I mean, of course, come on, dude. Anyone that was around in the 80s, 90s, Arnold was the man, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Terminator and Predator and all his movies, and oh my gosh, man, of course. Right. Anyone in bodybuilding, a young kid, Arnold. Arnold was everything then, right? So yeah, for sure, Arnold. And again, I'm old, so yeah, he was around during my time.
Not that old. Look at this guy. He has like huge arms. He's only 10 years, 12 maybe older than me. I can't even remember now. Acting like he's old. It's not that old.
But anyways, Arnold was probably the main one that it was like, wow, look at this guy's muscles, right? And then, but around that age, there was. In those magazines, I saw professional bodybuilders, right? So the old school guys, Dorian Yates and Ronnie Coleman and Jay Cutler, and I actually got to meet a lot of these guys in person, right? So I would go to various bodybuilding shows, and they would be there as guest posers, right? So you get to watch these professionals pose. Sure. And I mean, as a young kid learning to lift weights that's just scrawny, right? You see these massive guys, and it's like, oh my God. But to me, those were my celebrities. Yeah. Those were the people that I aspired to be. I wanted to be like those guys, big muscles and chiseled abs, and you know what I mean? And I'm looking at myself like, man, how am I gonna get there, right? But
what did you do to tell yourself, like, hey, because I feel like I've been in that position, I still kind of fight that with fitness, or you look up, and I'm sure anyone listening or watching, you have that feeling where you look on Instagram, you look at these social things, and you say, hey, I wanna look like that guy, but like, what was it for you that you're like, all right, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna commit? Was it like the diet? Was it the workout? Was it everything? Like, what was that thing?
The commitment was emotion. Really. Like, excuse my language, but like, fuck what people look like. You know what I mean? Like, this is all exterior shit. In all honesty, the gym and health and fitness, it pulled me through darkness. You know what I mean? Like, it was what made me feel good. So when I was dealing with shit with my best friend dying, or just all the things that I've been through in life, we all have life problems, right? And it's like the gym was the one, and has been the one consistent thing that never ever let me down in my life. It got me through every hell, every darkness. I would go to the gym, and for that hour, I could just escape. That's what it's been. It's the addiction to therapy. You know what I mean? So, and again, if you talk to guys that are really into this stuff, a lot of it, it's not the vanity. The vanity's the byproduct, right?
So it's like the sauce to the meal, right? Like it's like you can add it and it's a bonus.
Yeah,
but it's
that's the bonus. The vanity's the bonus. Excuse me. But so many people get caught up in this Instagram shit, like, you know, this model looks like this, or this dude's got six pack or whatever. And you know what? A lot of those people probably have the same struggles. You know what I mean? Shit looks one way on Instagram, but compare it to real life, that's not it, man. You know, a lot of people that are into their physique, they might not be that into their physique, and they might not have as big an ego as you think. They might just struggle with a lot of things in their life, and the gym actually makes them feel better. And so truly deep down for me, it was never a look. It was, I just felt good doing this. You know what I mean? So that's what's kept me addicted, is the feeling of feeling better in dark times, you know? So
when you're going through those things, I think it's hard to like have a self-reflection when you're like, dude, I'm in the hole.
Yeah.
I'm in the dark. I think you referred to multiple times where it was evident that you've experienced so much in life already where the result, or the solution to that has been the gym for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe that in life, you can't do it alone. I've had that as my personal kind of like guidance of, I have moments where I'm like tunnel vision, I don't need anyone, I don't want anyone.
Yeah.
But I think that's just me being hard-headed. Really, the reality, I've seen it time and time again, winners, true like entrepreneurs that succeed financially and through family and everything else, always have a team. Did you have someone in your life or a group of people that you did it with when you were starting out through your journey of fitness, or let's say like starting up your business?
Yeah.
Is there a group, or is there a specific individual?
So, you know, I've always kind of had an entrepreneur mindset. I mean, dude, back it up to when I was a kid. So when I was a kid, cell phones weren't really a thing. Internet wasn't really a thing. Actually, it wasn't a thing. And for soccer, I grew up as a young age playing soccer. Love soccer. And it was good exercise, right? So anyways, we had to fundraise. So we had to go door to door. This isn't, you know, mommy can throw out something on Facebook and get you a bunch of sponsors, right? So I literally had a sign-up sheet. I would have to go door to door trying to fundraise for my soccer team. Some years we would sell candy bars. Some years we would sell cases of soda, whatever. But here's what I would do. I would go to these doors. Hey, I play soccer for this team, and we're trying to raise money for our uniforms, right? Would you like to buy some soda, let's say? Oh, no, I can't today. I'll be like, well, we do accept donations, right? And so some people wouldn't want to donate. And I would usually, though, always bring something else smaller. I would downsell them onto something else. Like, oh, well, I do also have like chocolate bars for $1 or suckers for $1. Like anything helps, right? Well, the donations and the smaller things were me. I was selling to them, right? And so, so I mean, I wasn't trying to do anything crooked, but there was always this thing in my mind. I wanted to make money, and I was trying to figure out how to make money, right? And so, you know, I was doing that at like 8 years old. So I just always had that in me. And, you know, on the way through growing up, I mean, my gosh, I've dabbled in so many things. I've owned multiple businesses. I've failed in businesses. I tried to get in real estate, flipping homes, failed at that. I mean, dude, my life has been all over the place. But the one thing that I will give myself credit for is I never fucking quit. Not one time did I think about quitting. I've had my ass handed to me so many times.
So every time you did those things, you were by yourself? There wasn't anyone kind of like pushing you to continue? Not
at those stages. And in fact, you know, I've done business with bad people that have absolutely ripped me off, undercut me, just whatever they could do to get themselves to another level. But at the end of the day, if you conduct yourself like that in business, you'll never ever win.
How did you deal with them?
How did I deal with them?
Yeah, how do you deal with that? I feel like that's like, it's almost similar to, it's a conversation I like to have for people to know is Instagram is the highlight reel.
Yeah.
You hear that now, more people are talking about, which makes me happy that you're going to see things that aren't reality of what you think the person is having.
Yeah.
With that comes good attention and bad attention. Similar to business, depending how bad it could be, comments, critics, someone taking away your money, someone ripping you off.
Yeah.
Negative, right? Negativity.
Absolutely.
How do you deal with that? Like, how I think two-part. How do you deal with the negativity on social as a person today owning a business? And then how did you deal with the person in the back end for business that took your money? How did you deal with that?
Yeah. So, when it's a direct impact and someone is, in my circle, we'll call it, and trying to rip me off or has ripped me off, you know what? I'm not a dramatic person. I don't play those battles way out. I don't get dramatic, fuck you, I'm gonna kick your ass, whatever. No, I'm just done.
Got it.
I wipe my hands with you, we're done, we'll never talk again, you burned your bridge, that's fine. And then on the social side, it's again, look, we're all gonna do things in life that don't make everybody happy, right? So for every 100,000 people you make happy, 10,000 of them might think you're just a moron, you're stupid, you're an idiot, that's a bad decision, whatever. You're going to get that hate no matter what you do in this game, in any game of business or life, right? And so again, don't get sucked into the negativity. That's okay. Those people that hate or have negativity, they got their own issues. They're in not a good place. Don't reflect it back onto them. I just don't play into it, man. If someone wants to talk shit or whatever, if it becomes too much, just block them. Block them on social media. But don't sit there and waste your days arguing when you could have wasted that 30 minutes, not wasted, but spent that 30 minutes marketing. You could have been creating a post or something on, YouTube or Facebook or whatever that was productive for your business, but you just spent 30 minutes arguing with someone on Facebook in the comments. Don't play into that stuff. I refuse to. Now, maybe 5 years ago, Justin would have. 5 years later today, Justin, I've learned a lot, man. You know what I mean? Just be humble, keep your head down, keep focused, keep working hard. But let me answer your question about a team. Now, today, I do have a team, and I have an amazing team. And so one of my partners, Grant, he's down here in San Diego. He's an investor in multiple businesses around the nation. And another partner I have, Erica, she's our CFO, and she's up in the Seattle area. And so is Michael Hammer. He's another investor in multiple companies. And now today, with those three other partners and the circle that we have just such a diverse company structure between us. We all know so many different people and so many different things, and our knowledge sets are different. And I mean, I know things that they don't know, they know things I don't know. We all reflect off each other. And man, the synergy in our team right now is ridiculous. We have such a good team. And this is the first time I can actually say, I have a team of people that I can trust, that I know are loyal, and I will be loyal to them. And it's just without question, all of us feel the same. Just we have that unwavering trust in the circle, and you have to have that when you're building a brand and a company and dealing with money, and you know what I mean? And I've never had that in all my history. I've had people trying to fuck me, stab me in the back, take shit from me, take something that I've created away from me. You know what I mean? That's just, sadly, a lot of people are like that in society. But now today, I got an amazing crew,
I think that's amazing that you've realized through life what to look for a good team.
Yeah.
Evidently, that's what you're telling me right now.
That's why you're involved too. I needed you. I wanted you in my circle too.
I love that.
Because you're an amazing guy.
Thank you.
Okay?
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm really thankful to be working with you. And you've experienced, so I think the greatest thing, most of my listeners are young, 18 to 24.
Sure.
And so they're listening to this or watching, and they're saying, okay, Justin, you went through it to see what are the qualities of a bad person, to then know what you needed around you.
Absolutely.
What are those qualities that you would want to share with the listeners and viewers to be like, hey, these are things that I look at now when I'm trying to build people around or put people around me?
Yeah.
What is that mindset for you when you're at
So the type of humans that I want around me they're honest, and you can tell they're honest. When you talk to people, it's everything. I mean, again, through life and experience, just even mannerisms, how someone moves, how they hold their body, how they keep contact with you, eye contact, right? I pay attention to people. I study people all the time, and I can tell off the bat if I'm going to trust someone or not, right? But trust, loyalty, and their word, respect. And when I say their word, it's one of these things where, again, because of social media, I think social media has really kind of ruined this, is that there's a lot of things put out there that are fake and false about people's lives, right? And it's like, you put all this out here, but then when we really find out what you're about, that was all fake, right? So it's just really, as a human, showing through actions. I really don't care what anyone says to me anymore, there's so many hollow things that people say, hollow promises, it's just not real stuff. So, okay, you can tell me that you're this, and this, and I'm gonna sit back here and I'm gonna see if you do this, and this. I'm gonna see if your life aligns with this, right? And so, to my group and my circle of people, when someone sits down with you and, I've invested in this many companies and I own this and I have this many assets, and like, okay, well, anyone can really sit down and tell me that, right? But I want to see it. I want to see it through your actions. I want to see your business contacts. I want to watch you work, right? And so my circle today, they're all real people. They're real, they're genuine. Everything about their life is the truth. And that's what you need. Truth, transparency, and honesty. That's what you got to look for with people. And once you find those people, hang on to them. They're rare, dude. It's sad, but they're a rare breed to find people that, man, I can sit down with you and I can tell you in confidence certain things because I know you're going to do the right things with it. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you understand with people that you work with. You got to have that kind of relationship, So, yeah, in a nutshell, that's what I look for.
I love that. Truth, transparency. What was the third one?
I don't remember.
That was so good.
Truth, transparency,
That was really good.
Sometimes things just roll off, right?
No, I love that.
But respect too. I don't know if that was in there, but just respect for me is huge, man. Like you have to give respect, and respect has to be earned. You know what I mean? Like people have to earn their respect with me, and if they don't, that's it, man. Like I don't trust you, I don't respect you. We're not gonna have a relationship, And that's not even from a place of hate. It's just that I'm not going to associate with you on a business level because, you've broken trust or broken respect or whatever. And those are so high level to me,
right?
It's people's actions.
I think the biggest thing from what you just told me, aside from the 3 notes, which is definitely going to get clipped for an Instagram video, because that was really good. Because I think that's so real. And someone, again, I keep referencing him. I'll always bring him up. He was I think I've spoken to you about him. He was my first ever client. He's the one that believed in me before I believed in myself. He's a New York firefighter, opened up a gym.
Yeah.
And he was so transparent with what was going on in the business with me that I felt like I was an owner. And at the moment, I was like, man, he would always tell me all this stuff. I woke up with pressure, not knowing why, right? And I was just starting out my entrepreneurship journey, and I then realized it was the biggest blessing that happened to me.
Yeah.
Because the way I view things, the way I view people, as you said, those qualities, I pay attention to them.
Yeah.
Because he would talk to me about like, hey, when you speak to a client, don't do this. Eye contact, be affirmative, veer away from this. All the little things that created the bigger picture, as you're referring to, is your character, right? The transparency, the conversations, the mannerisms, they led to that. And so my point is of all of that for people listening and watching is that he referred to having the qualities of an individual that a human being should have. This is not about business. This is not about selling supplements. This is not about wellness.
Good humans.
Being a good human being.
100%.
And I believe, and it's been evident, you're in my life for a reason. I'm so thankful to have certain characters in my life where I believe through the lessons that were taught to me before from my parents and my mentor, best friend, Frankie, that's why I'm in the circles that I'm in, is because that's been a result of that. Like I wasn't intentionally saying, hey, I want to be next to this person, but it was a reverse engineer. It's like, hey, I just want to be next to a person that's real.
Yeah.
And again, I could agree where after so many times where you see so many things, you hear so many things, you watch so many things, you already know who's fake or who's real right off the rip.
Absolutely.
And you don't need, there's not much that you need.
Yeah.
Of course, there'll be people in your life that will pull up what I call facade.
Yeah.
As the old New Yorker fugazi, right?
Yeah.
You see stuff, you sit in the car, the house.
Yeah.
It may not even be theirs.
No, it's all that front, man.
There's all that leads to it.
Yeah.
But then the moment you meet them and then you have the certain conversations, you'll know who they are and what their intentions are.
Absolutely.
And so we've gone to your journey of who you are, your intentions as a human being, what you want out of this. What would you say was your greatest business lesson through the different routes that you've taken? So you referred to flipping homes, you have a wellness company, you're starting out, which I believe that's a whole business within itself, having that discipline to be, lifting, training, 1 gallon of water, specifically, that's a job.
Yeah.
I've had friends who've gone through it. I'm like, dude, what do you get when you win out of this?
Yeah.
And I used to, and this is another great lesson, is I was so blindsided by what the person was doing versus the end result. So what does that mean? They, through the fitness competition, they were creating habits that are applied to life: consistency, dedication, like really having that
Man.
tunnel vision that then applies to everything else.
Absolutely.
It wasn't just, I viewed it as, dude, you're getting up on a stage to flex to win a medal,
Yeah.
which in theory is cool because that's the result of your hard work, but I think everything you do throughout that process leads on after.
It does.
And so I don't want to veer away from the question, what was your greatest business lesson from everything that you've gone through? Just one, because I know there's many.
Yeah. Greatest business lesson, I would say, is once you, well, how about this? Sorry, I'm trying to run. I'm like, dude, there's this whole freaking like
timeline, right?
gambit of lessons that I've learned, right?
Yeah. Well, I would say one you think of today that applies the most.
Yeah.
That you feel like most people could relate to.
I would really just say, be weary, number one, of business partnerships, okay? Make sure that with business partnerships, you need a partner first. I think some people get wrapped up in this thing that I can't do this, I don't know enough, so they jump into, well, this guy kind of knows a little bit too, so I should make him my partner. But it might just be your buddy or someone that doesn't have the experience, but maybe he knows a little computer programming so he could help you with a website, but now people want him to be a partner, right? Mm-hmm. I would say as an entrepreneur, start out, take yourself as far as you can physically go alone until you need to start building that team. And as you are thinking about you need to build that team, start identifying characters that you can bring into your circle that would be beneficial to you. Start identifying them early and then just watch them over time, right? Take 6, 8, 9, 10 months of Jim. Jim, I thought about him maybe being my partner, but don't jump at Jim. Don't say, hey man, let's start a partnership here. Give him some time. Step back, watch his life, just see how he acts, right? And then you'll know if that might be someone, hey, I need to bring this guy in. This would be a good fit. But yeah, as a young entrepreneur, go as far as you can alone until you need a partner. Yeah, I would say that's one at least lesson, take your time on that. Don't jump into partnerships. Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I think that was one of my personal business struggles when I first started is as a leader, I failed because I did that in a way. I did do that where I told myself, hey, I need this person, or I would wait on that person versus let me learn, let me adapt, let me see how the best of my abilities to get to a certain point. And I believe I had that kind of, that push, we referred to a character that came into my life. Yeah. That my life just completely changed.
Boom, in an instant.
And it was that moment where I took everything on myself and I took accountability of, hey, this is my opportunity. Let me not wait on anyone. Let me not wait on anything. And then the other things that I can't fill, I'll fill them in as I could, right?
Yep, 100%.
And I think a great example is that, working with you is, I know Facebook ads. I understand Facebook ads. What do you do now to stay focused and in your game? I know you're someone that's still in the gym day in and day out. Sometimes I still see you doubling up. Going in the morning, going at night.
2 days, two times a day.
That's your therapy.
That's my thing, man.
I want to get into your brand. So if you want to grab that bottle so people get to see his company, what he's been able to. So here we have it. Lyfeblends is his GI repair and restore. It's a little, black bottle. He has black, white bottles. This is the brand that you wanted to start for wellness. This is the brand that you wanted to start for longevity. Yep. What has been the greatest thing that you've learned from creating this? Business and personal.
Business and personal. So, on the business side, a lot of people ask me, oh, and by the way, in addition to this wellness line of supplements, as I shared with you a little bit, I got the performance foods coming out too. So I got performance infused peanut butters, or supplement infused peanut butters. Coming soon, about a month. And anyways, so, a lot of people ask me Justin, how do you have this, or how did you start this? Or, entrepreneurs get asked that all the time. How did you do it, right? Mm-hmm. And, it really comes back to what I said, head down, work hard, work alone, right? And I'm not saying you don't need a team, but if you want to be the core of your business, there's a lot of shit. You just gotta shut the fuck up and figure it out, okay? Period. All of this didn't just create itself. I had to go out and I had to source supplement blending companies. I had to identify supplementation that I was going to put into this. I personally designed all this packaging. Now, I have, a graphic designer that does it, but I mean, we went through probably 20 label designs before I finally said yes, because I'm picky, right? But I had this vision in my head how I wanted this to look, right? So I literally created this whole thing from the ground up. And it's just been an absolute, mountain of work. There was so many things getting into this that I didn't know how to do. What do? There's this thing called the internet. You sit down and read. You learn. You go on YouTube. You go on Google. I mean, guys, so many people miss the fact that we have this plastic device in our hands, our phones, that if, man, I got a question right now in a grocery store because I thought of some idea, boom, Google, right? We can self-educate ourselves anywhere. And so many people like, man, I want to own a business, but I don't know where to start, or I want to start this brand, or I have this idea for clothing, or whatever it is. I mean, even that, I started designing clothing, right? Dude, I did this. I created clothing. I got clothing we're going to have coming out too. Like, I don't know how to do that shit. I figured it out. I figured out the shirt manufacturer and the printing process and the design work and the peanut butters. Dude, the food manufacturing, and again, full transparency, I've been working on this peanut butter project on these new performance peanut butters for 1.5 years.
Wow.
Literally 1.5 years, because here's the deal. I had to identify supplements that I could infuse in food to make it taste good. Food formulation is not easy. Packaging design, again, I completely designed the packaging of the foods. I sent you a picture of those. They look freaking amazing. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, it's a lot of.
I asked you ordered a pack. I saw it.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work, man. But here's how I relate what I do in the gym to life, and I will always say this to everybody: it's repetitions. Life or the gym, it's repetitions and consistency. I can go to the gym today. I'm not going to get a result from what I did today, but the consistency of that same action is where I'll end up. As I told you, for the last 10 days, I want to get in better shape for San Diego, right? So for the last 10 days, I just stepped my game up even more. I added an extra 30 minutes of cardio, and I've been dropping body fat. But again, I can't just do an hour of cardio one day and have a six-pack. It's day after day after day after day after day, that grind, right? So now, I'm not saying everybody has to be like that in the gym, but let's relate it back to life and business. It's repetitions and consistency. And you will never win in the entrepreneurship game without the repetitions and consistency. Every freaking day, get up, do your shit, and 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the road, you'll have that end result that people see that they want today. And that's the problem. Everybody wants the Ferrari today and the 10,000 square foot home today. Well, those people that have those lives, man, they've been grinding for years. You know what I mean? And so many people sit and complain, and it's this victim mentality of, I want this and I want, well, go get it. Go earn it, right? And like you said, 10 minutes ago about self-accountability, that's all this game is. Self-accountability. You are your own self. You're your own human. Control yourself. All we can control is what we control with ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. I don't have to get up every morning and do cardio and then go turn on my computer and start work. I don't have to do that. I can stay in bed and keep sleeping. It's choices. Mm-hmm. We all make choices, right? That accumulate to a big result.
Right.
So if you want the big result, put in the repetitions, period. Yeah.
I love that. I think finishing on that note, that was so powerful. I'm trying to take down all those personal notes right now, which is dedication, discipline. I think the biggest one for me was the self-accountability, because there's moments where you'll wake up, I have them, swear.
We all do, we're humans,
when you were telling me that, one of my biggest kind of setbacks that I have is Sunday. I fight with Sunday. I really do. I tell myself, I have those friends like, yo, chill, chill. And I'm like, why? If I want to work, why? I really have those fights with myself. I'm like, should I make this a chill day? Everyone's chilling. People are hanging out at the beach. People aren't working. But in reality, thing that I thought was like, there's 52 Sundays in the year. Damn, if I'm chilling for a month and a half, almost 2, it's a long time.
And that's perspective.
Right.
Now you just put it into perspective.
Yeah, I had that one. You told me that right now. I thought that to myself. So everyone, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Justin, thank you so much for coming on, my man.
Absolutely.
And for those of you watching, Justin's actually, again, he's in SoCal. We're going to spend the whole weekend. We're going to be shooting throughout Del Mar, San Diego, Los Angeles. We're actually going to be headed to Cards and Coffee Shop. He sent me a box of, or has a box of cards I want to get graded.
Yeah.
But again, thank you so much for coming on. Where's the best place that people could find you on social media?
Social media, my personal Instagram is Justin_Range, Justin Range. And the reason I did that, real quick, people ask that a lot. What is Justin Range? A Range Rover? What is it? You know what I mean? Justin Range. It was a play on my name, obviously, but here's the deal. It's about your life. Life is just in range, right? Everything is just in range, right? It's like a shooting range, right? It's just in range. I can hit that target. Everything's in range. Anyways, that's where the name came from. Your life is just in range. Yeah.
And don't forget to follow the brand at Lyfeblends. We'll be seeing a
Lyfeblends.
bunch of new content coming out, videos, photos, stop motions, TikToks, everything is going to be going down this weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Can't wait for you guys to check out the next episode. And don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Please tell me what you loved most about his episode. And the next time he comes on, which I'm excited, it's going to be soon. I already see it. I'm manifesting it in 6-9 months from now. We're going to talk about the progress of his brand, the wellness brand, where he's gone, the team that we're going to create, the army, but we're not going to let the name out, of influencers that are going to cultivate the brand and further extend the name. And again, thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next episode.